Good morning. I'm starting the day with a cup of tea. The first one's always nice, isn't it? Then I'm going fishing just for a short one, though this morning, less than an hour. Lure fishing, that's where that mode of angling comes into its own, doesn't it, when you haven't got much time. I didn't go at all yesterday. In fact, it was a very lazy day. I got home quite late the evening before after a working football game. By the time I did all the post-media stuff, the interviews in particular, I got to bed after midnight. And then yesterday I was up again quite early and I did all the final post-media stuff that needed to be done, like the videos that I put together for the club, the 5 talking points article and all that sort of thing. By the time I finished, it was 12 o'clock. I watched Connah's Quay Nomads versus Colwyn Bay on television in the Welsh Cup. And then I thought I'd have a lie down and I went to bed and I woke up at 5 o'clock and it was dark. So I didn't go fishing at all, didn't go bird watching, didn't go for my run or anything like that. But I find that those days are very important, especially when you live a busy, full life like I do, that it catches up with you from time to time. And it's good to take a day out and recharge the batteries. That's exactly what I did yesterday. Anyway, I'm on full power. I'm drinking my cup of tea. And then I'm going to chuck a lure into a pool. I've had a number of casts and you get the feeling quite early on sometimes that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge, and that's certainly how I feel today. There's no sign of life at all on the water. You often get the predators attacking the smaller fish. They scatter the surface, give you an idea that there's lots of feeding going on out there, but nothing at all today, or even from fish in general, roach or whatever, nothing at all. However, I'll tell you something, it's great being out here. It's a beautiful day. It feels like a spring day or an early autumn one, as opposed to a late autumnal day, because we're in the middle of November and I certainly go with my angling gear. December is the first month of winter, so not complaining about the weather. And I do love the great outdoors, and there is something very, very special, isn't there, about being out and about. Whether you're fishing, walking, jogging, I'll be doing that later when I get home, down the lane. Whatever you're doing, it's just good, isn't it? Bird watching, nature watching in general, rambling, whether you're a casual walker or a serious hiker, it's good, isn't it, to be in the great outdoors. Lots of leaves on the surface and vegetation dying off now that I'm picking up beneath it as well. But as long as my bait's in the water, I've always got a chance. The great thing about lure fishing in general is that your rod's made up, and when time is tight you can go out and have half an hour or 20 minutes even. No need to prepare a swim. You go to where the fish are, or at least where you think they will be. It might not necessarily be reciprocal. I've got a Grays G-Lite spin rod there and a Fox Rage 2500 reel, and of course the business end I've got braid, then I've got some mono on there, and that's a small 0.7 gram jig head and a small rubber fish. I've got about 2 feet of line there because there is still lots of vegetation dying off, but still vegetation that underneath the surface of the water, and it's quite shallow as well. So I want to keep the lure above the aforementioned vegetation as opposed to keep getting snagged on it. I didn't even get a tap or a follow through there, but I've already mentioned the benefits of being out in the great outdoors. I listen to music in my car while I travel to fishing and on the way back, always. And last night I downloaded an album off Spotify because they do recommend things to you. Well, a compilation, should I say, a playlist, because they do recommend things to you based on your listening habits, and it was called the Black Power Mix. So I had a look at that one, and it's Jimmy Ruffin, The Temptations, Edwin Starr, the Jackson 5, Otis Redding, usual stuff there. Black Power Mix, what we used to call soul music.